Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'll be showing you how to remove and install the side plate of Smith & Wesson 64-6. Alright, so to get started you're going to need some screwdrivers, preferably with wood handles. I like Grace. They're made in Michigan. They've got a nice wood handle, so it doesn't matter how oily your hands are. This is a P6. This works great on Packmeyer grips. And then for the side plate screws on Smith & Wesson, typically the P4 is what that's for. And these are squared tipped screwdrivers. They're not wedged, meaning that it's a perfect square on the very tip. So you apply direct torque onto the screw. So these aren't woodworking screwdrivers. These are gunsmithing screwdrivers. So you want to hold your gun right so it doesn't get away from you. So you put your hand behind the grip. See how I got my fingers here? You want to put that against the mat, and you're using your thumb to brace it so this guy isn't going to move, but you want to get it so that it won't move where the screw's at. You use your thumb to guide your screwdriver down into the slot like that. Come on, there we go. And you use your fingers to twist the screwdriver, and you kind of balance it in the center of your fingers. Take that screw off. See, that grip's not moving around. I'm maintaining my drive angle, and the backstop are my fingers, so there's no wobbling going on there where it's going to goober the head of the screw. And there we have it. We got the screw. It's out. Get that grip off. These things clamshell. That's how Packmeyers are. Alright, so now we have 3. Well, I got some oil there. Oil likes to migrate in tight spots, so that's all good. It's not a big deal. And we got a lot of tottering going on here. So now we're going to take a P4 screwdriver and put my hand on the back plate like this, and I want to make it so it doesn't totter, so I got to find a spot how I hold this where I'm not going to want this thing to rock. See, I'll get my fingers behind there, hold it like that maybe. There we go. So if I push on it, it's not gonna, mess those screws up. So once again, I got my screwdriver. I'm gonna use my thumb. See, the fingers are wrapped around here, and then my thumb's there keeping this thing stable from wobbling. I'm gonna draw this down into the slot. There we go. And then I'm going to maintain the correct angle for unloosening this screw. Use my fingertips. Typically revolver screws go kind of easy unless they're rusted in. If you shoot them, they sure like to wiggle themselves loose. And there it is. I guess it's a screwdriver is magnetized. But anyway, we're going to take that screw out. There we go. Make sure it's in the slot. I'm going to loosen her. My fingertips. See, I'm not cranking my wrist on the screwdriver. I'm letting my fingertips do the unloosening. You don't want to mix these screws up. I know the right order they go in because they're going to be 3 different type screws. Even though the threads might be similar, the heads are different. Smith & Wesson, by the hammer, it's round. By the trigger, it's kind of flat on its head. And then like I was saying, that plunger screw there, pretty easy to figure out where that one goes. You don't want to put that in anything else because you'll destroy the thread. All right, from this point, this is where you see people mess up all over the internet. They don't know what they're doing. You want to take a soft face mallet, or a piece of wood if you rather. I like the soft face mallet because it bounces. Wood has a tendency to absorb a lot of shock. Wood has its place, but the traditional way of doing this is you just wrap right here, you know, and then the side plate will just kind of vibrate up like magic. You just kind of hit it here at the back spot. But you can tell that's going to take a while, so this plastic ain't going to hurt nothing. Wow, it's got some numbers there. So I'm just tapping it back here, not too hard. I'm just tapping, 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 tapping. See, I'm hearing stuff. Some kind of movement going on. Oh, it's not out yet. All right, old-fashioned way. Whoop, there it is. You do not want to pry on this at all, because if you pry on this and bend this, your gun is junk. You know, these things are unique to the gun that they came off from. And, you know, if you bend any part of this, your frame is trash. And, of course, your side plate. Maybe some internal parts as well. So don't do that. Keep it crispy. Don't let that hit the floor. Keep it in great shape. Spring. Okay, so on a side plate cover, you've got a little shark fin on the top. And you want to make sure the trace inside the frame is clean. This one is clean. There's a little dried oxidized oil. That's fine. This is pretty clean as well. You don't see any crud build up here. And you want to keep oil away from the bosses, which is this circular buildup here that holds the hammer pin. And this one's for the trigger pin, I believe, is it? Yes. So if you put oil in there and then you try to push this down, make sure everything is in its rightful spot, like that. I'm not forcing it. And you got some oil in one of those bosses, and then you crank down on it, you could actually warp that side plate. You know, it'll hydraulically stay there, and as you draw down on it, it'll bend the side plate, and it'll be trash. So do not oil your side plate at all, you know, when you're reinstalling it. You just want it to go in. So right here, there's a little tight spot right there. I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to totter it until it falls in like it did right there. I'm going to keep tottering it until I can't feel it on the frame. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's nice and flush. That's what you want. Make sure it's flush. All right, so now we're going to get the screws in. You can use Loctite if you want. You can put it on your thread. But we're going to start with the this guy here, the yoke screw that's got a plunger in it. There's a little crud in there too. Get that out of there. Oh, no crud in my screw. That crud's not going to hurt anything. Yeah, it's gone. Okay. Maybe it's still there. I don't know. I don't like cruddy screws. I want my screws clean. Oh, that's clean. I like that. All right, so got to make sure the plunger's there before I put her in. Put her right there in a hole. Don't force it. Just make sure it's in the hole, like that. This one's gonna rely on some pressure because it's spring loaded. So once again, my fingers are behind the frame here, using it for a backstop to control environmental conditions required to tighten the screw down. So from here, I do not tighten it, I loosen it. I push down while loosening it until I could feel the thread fall in, and then I turn with my fingertips. You don't want to force it. Do not force it. let the thread take it down into the bore. So when you're reversing it and pushing down, you're trying to find the thread where the thread falls into the, the two threads kind of mate. So you don't cross thread. Cross thread deals with the thread cutting on top of the existing thread, and it creates a new thread on top of it, and it rips out the existing threads, and that's a big, big problem. So that's how you stop that from happening. Okay, that's the flathead one down by the trigger guard. Like that. Once again, my fingers are providing the back strength to that frame so it won't totter, and my thumb's going to be my guide for that screw. Get that screwdriver on the head. Careful, do not scratch your frame. You will be so mad at yourself. So I'm going in reverse again until I could feel it. Hear that? Clicked. And now I'm just using my fingertips. Turn the screwdriver. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just letting that thread wind her down. I'm not even tightening her up. See? That's real loose. I want her loose. I don't want it tight yet because I want that plate to kind of relax down into its slot. I don't want to force nothing. So here's the last screw. Put that guy in there. Got her in the thread. Fingers behind there. So I'm going to guide my screwdriver again. Just like that. I'm going to watch my torque angle on the screwdriver. I want to make sure my screwdriver is centered in the head of the screw. I'm going to go in reverse. There we go. And now I'm going to go forward with my fingertips. Don't force it. You know. That click you hear, that's the thread. The two threads falling into each other and aligning. So we got a perfect marriage going on there. It's a honeymoon. Isn't that lovely? All right, so now I'm going to tighten it up because all the screws had a chance to. There we go. One. There we go. Just going to push in a little bit. Turn it down. There we go. This guy here. This screwdriver tips very fine, so you have to be careful when you tighten these things down because you'll bust your screwdriver. You don't want to, ruin the head of the screw either, because if you bust that screw inside there, it's going to be a nightmare to take out. But these guys are so thin on their heads, if it breaks, not to worry. Grace will replace your screwdriver free of charge. They'll mail it to you. I broke one before because these are made out of carbon steel, and they'll send you another one without any kind of issue. You're just going to have to take a picture of it and email it to them. But, whoops. Got to make sure. Hold on here. Make sure that pin's in the right spot. Not quite there yet. The beauty of plastic is it won't mar anything. Uh-oh, a little too far. There we go. Yeah. That's a roll pin. It's a little piece of sheet metal rolled into a pin, hence roll pin. So those things typically stay put during recoil. They don't like to come out because of the hammering on it. That side plate to wiggle itself up. That's what was going on. It moved. Okay, get the pack mirror grip on there. Like that. And then we're going to put the screw in like that. Start with my fingertips. This screw is pretty cruddy because it looks like it's been carried in a holster. Moisture might have got on that screw. That's another video in itself to show you guys how to restore screw heads. If you don't goober your screws up, see, that's still loose. I'm not trying to get it tight yet until I got a stable platform, correct torque angle for the screwdriver, using my fingertips, tighten it down so I don't goober that screw head or bust my screwdriver or gouge myself or destroy the finish. And there it is. Ta-da!
Don't forget to like and subscribe so you do not miss out.